Hello, it's episode 9 of the Links Live Natters podcast with me, Shelley, where we chat, or as we like to say, natter, about Lincolnshire life and events and the great characters that make up Lincolnshire. Today, we're speaking to plumber and heating engineer Jason Andrews about why he got into plumbing and heating and how he uses social media in his work and how he has built up his company in Lincoln. Jason runs JAS Plumbing and Heating, sounds like an advert, based in Lincoln. He has amassed more than 6,000 followers across his social media platforms, posting regularly and often humorous photos about his work day. Good evening, Jason. How are you?
Good evening. Yeah, I'm all good. Thank you.
Good, good, good. We've got a few questions we're going to ask you about the plumbing and heating industry. And we've also got a question from a listener for you, which we will do at the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, how did you get into plumbing?
It was actually my dad who got me into it. He said, because I always wanted to be an electrician, and he said to me, don't be an electrician, be a plumber. So I looked into it, and then I decided to do plumbing. It's just a bit more varied. So I thought I'd prefer to do plumbing, really. So I went into plumbing. So.
Oh, that's great. Then did you do an apprenticeship when you decided you wanted to become a plumber, or it
I
was sort of
didn't
how
actually.
old? You didn't?
No, so I was 21 at the time, and I just really struggled to get any companies because it's still the same now. A lot of companies just don't take on apprentices. So I managed to find a friend of mine a friend of my brother's who was a plumber, and he took me on for a little while, but he just wouldn't give me the apprenticeship. So I just learned from him as much as I could, and then just went from there. Started with basic plumbing and just taught, learned as much as I could, and then I did actually get taken on by another company who put me through the gas, and they gave me the experience on the gas, so I could get the experience on that. So
Oh, that's absolutely brilliant. Because I was going to ask you about apprenticeships now in this day and age, if there's much difference, if there's much training, are they more aware of the gas safety regulations? Has apprenticeships changed a lot more, or do you think they've sort of still stayed the same?
I think a lot of plumbing it stays the same. Unfortunately, they don't grow things and change with the times. I think with the apprenticeships now, they do more renewables a little bit, but there's not much difference really. And yeah, it's a shame with plumbing. It's just it doesn't evolve with the times really. So.
No, no, because if you wanted to give advice to somebody who wanted to get into the industry, what would you say? What would Jason's top tips be to get into the industry?
I would say use social media really, because everything on social now you can watch people doing stuff, so you can learn from it. You can get tips. You can join in. You could even do your own videos and just get yourself heard.
Yeah, you're a bit of an expert on that, but we'll come to that as we go through the interview, and because you use social media a lot, and I wanted to ask about the qualifications of the engineers, because obviously the different engineers who do the different jobs have different qualifications. Is that correct?
Yeah, yes. A lot of our customers often say an engineer is an engineer, but there is so many differences. Like I always put it down to sort of like doctors. Not all doctors can do brain surgery, and there's so many different qualifications. There's plumbing, oil, gas, LPG. There's air conditioning
Wow.
pumps. Yeah, there's so many different varies now, and it's really when you're looking for a job, it's just finding that sort of varied and what they can do, because you can have different engineers for different things. So
Yeah, yeah, because like I think I it's something you tend to forget about as a customer. You just think, oh, I'm going to ring up the gas engineer, I'm going to ring up the heating engineer, and you
yeah,
sort of tend to forget. It's sort of like, oh, I'm going to need, are they qualified in this and are they qualified in that?
yeah,
It's just something as a customer, you tend to forget about that.
yeah, yeah. Especially sort of like oil boilers and LPG. A lot of customers say, "I've got a boiler," and it's like, "Which boiler have you got?" So we can send the right engineer to you. So
Yeah, I know we've chatted before and stuff, and when we said about boilers, and I'm one of them, Jason. I will put my hand up and say, when you said to me, "What boiler have you got?" Oh, a boiler.
Yeah.
You know, it's
A
very
white box on
ignorant.
the wall.
Yeah, and a box on the wall. I remember that conversation. You know, what do you think makes your company different? You know, because obviously you do use social media a lot.
Yeah, so we use social media, but we try to give our engineers plenty of time. A lot of other companies, they'll give 8, 10, 12 jobs a day. So we try to give our engineers plenty of time so they can do a quality job, rather than rushing around and trying to get loads of jobs done, and then they make mistakes, and then obviously you end up going back or whatever. And yeah, we just promote quality really. So yeah.
Yeah, going back to that conversation we had about boilers and control panels on the wall and that, not knowing, something that you do on your social media channels is you have your safety tips hashtag.
Yeah, so I'm trying to teach people basically. It's to teach people as much as possible about their systems. The more you know about it, the more you can save money, sort of learn about your system. So, yeah, a lot of people, like we were saying before, sort of they see it as a white box on the wall. It heats the house, but yeah, there's so much you can do to it that can reduce your costs over the year, and then you won't have to spend so much. So.
Now with the way prices of gas and electric, even just being able to know how to turn it down a few centigrade to save yourself money would help, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So you can turn your heating down. I normally say keep turning it down until you feel cold, and turn it up a little bit more. So, but yeah, 55 degrees is the recommended, but I think a lot of systems aren't set up to that. So,
Is that something somebody could learn on your safety tips and your
yeah,
YouTube
yes.
videos?
Yeah, so we've got it on our YouTube videos and on our safety tips on Twitter and all over our social media. So,
You know, when I've spoken to you, you are a bit of an expert and stuff, and I will put my hands up and say Jason's actually taught me quite a bit about social media since I've been doing it as well. And one of the things that's coming up is the Gas Safety Week. Do you want to explain about Gas Safety Week? And
yeah,
I believe there's a theme, isn't there, as well?
yeah. So with Gas Safety Week, they've got the theme this year is diversity. So they it's celebrating the diversity in different engineers, like I was saying before, where some engineers have got oil, some have got gas, some have got plumbing. So it's really celebrating and trying to give that message out of diversity. And Gas Safety Week is done every year by Gas Safe. And this year it's the 11th to the 17th of September 2023. So yeah, there'll be loads of posts about it on my social media.
I was just going to ask that actually. Will you be using the social media for that week and
Yeah,
putting lots of
definitely.
things
Yeah.
out there?
It's something that I feel strongly about. So yeah, I'll definitely be supporting it this year. So
Yeah, because one of the things I did when I was doing my research into this, and I found that a lot of more women want to come into this industry, and there is a few women out there.
yes, yeah. So I can't remember the names of them, but there's a lot on Instagram, especially, and it's a real shame because they'll turn up to people's houses and they'll go, "Oh, you're not a man, you can't do it," and it's like you can still do it. They're capable. They've got the skills. It's there's no reason why they can't do it, and they really struggle. But there is quite a lot of them out there, and it's getting bigger and bigger. And I'd love to see um, that group grow because it is a male dominated sort of um, job really, and everyone always assumes your plumber's going to be a man, but no, it's definitely growing and it's good to see. So
Yeah, because I think I know a few people that would like take on their own plumbing jobs and stuff like that if they had the skills and stuff. Not saying we're going to put you out of business, Jason, you
no,
know, but it would be good just to have, going back to like we said earlier, those skills of just being knowing how to turn your boiler down. If there's just, you know, just simple jobs, not we're not
yeah,
convincing people to go out and do jobs that they shouldn't be doing.
yeah, but it's always difficult for us because we come back from some jobs and we think we can't charge for that because they've it's such a simple job, and if they'd learned it and known it, then we wouldn't have even needed to go out. So that's a lot of what I try and do on social media is teaching people to do those simple jobs rather than us going out, because obviously when we go out we have to spend money and fuel and stuff like that. So that's what I'm trying to do is get those sort of little jobs more well known and understood. So
Yeah, yeah. You know, sort of like thinking about the future and stuff. Where do you see the industry going? Because you've mentioned about different systems coming in.
Yeah, yeah. So there's quite a lot of interesting things going on. So at the moment, there's hydrogen, which hopefully will replace gas. But it's all down to where the source of that comes from. So we're not 100% sure where we're going to get hydrogen from because it's not green to produce it or create it. There's HVO, which is basically vegetable oil. So vegetable oil will swap over from kerosene for your oil boilers. But again, that's sort of up in the air. It depends on the government. And then you've got the heat pumps. Yeah, so there's loads of really interesting things going on, really. So
Yeah, it's sort of like they're, like you said, the whole vegetable oil. That's something I didn't realise that could be used as did you say heating source, Jason? That could be
yes, yeah.
used
So for the
as a,
oil boilers, they're looking to change to HVO. So
yeah.
it basically you just get your tank empty. You use all the oil, the kerosene that's in your oil tank, and then you just get a delivery of HVO. And I think there's a few small changes to the boiler, and then you can just be running on vegetable oil.
Wow, that's it's quite interesting. I think it's something, in the future we'll talk about again as that develops.
Yeah, because it's still in its infancy, really. So it's very early days, and yeah, and the cost of it at the moment to buy the HBO is, I think, it's nearly double. So yeah, so we need to see that price come down, and obviously a lot of changes in the industry before that comes about.
Yeah, like as we mentioned at the start of the interview and stuff, you do use social media a lot. Do you think a lot of business comes from social media these days? Because like years ago, I'm showing my age now. Years ago, it was the good old that
Yellow
book
pages.
that was a
Yeah,
certain color, and yes, Jason said it, the yellow pages, the good old directory books and stuff like that. Do you
yeah.
think a lot of business comes from social media now? Do you think a lot of it's word of mouth?
Yeah, I think for us, it's all about branding. So it's getting that branding out there. You might not even notice it, you might not even think about it, but you see the logo, and then when you actually need it, you'll see that logo again, and you get that branding. So yeah, it's just literally about the branding, and then obviously the networking as well. We're part of the hashtag Links Connect, and it's just growing that network of people that you know, and then the ball sort of starts rolling. If you know, I mean, you can post stuff on social media, and it will just literally just go out, and a few people might see it. But then if you actually engage with people and network with people, then you build your network, and then they're more likely to recommend you to other people. So I think that's where the social media side of it comes in, is getting seen and people knowing you. But it's starting those conversations, really.
Yeah, do you see all age groups using social media?
Different groups are different um, things. So LinkedIn, I think, is a bit older. Twitter, sort of mid, older, and then Instagram and Facebook is sort of younger, really. So
One of the things Jason does on social media is you always put a picture of one of your vans up at different locations throughout the county.
yeah.
And you will say to people, where are we working today?
The whole point behind that is that I might be in your village, so you'll recognize it, whereas other people won't. So you might get that edge and be able to reply. I've seen a lot of other questions being asked on social media, and it's sort of like you can get that answer straight away, if you know what I mean, and fastest finger first. Whereas with this one, you might recognize the area and be faster because you're in that area. So
Yeah, yeah, because the vans are quite distinctive. You can actually see the vans when they're around and stuff like that. But
yeah.
it's not all about plumbing and heating for you, is it? I hope this is widely known, but um, your company, it does sponsorships of different things within the community, and there's also something very special you do. If you would like to tell people about the different, I'm not going to try not to give it away. If you wanted to tell people what your company and who they sponsor.
Yeah, so we sponsor a football youth team. We do an adults team, and now we're also doing sponsoring a film in Brig. It's a zombie film. It's a local artist, and he's building himself up and creating little short films for the industry and trying to better himself. So we're sponsoring that as well.
Are you going to be involved in the film? Will you be actually in the film?
Yeah, yes. As part of the sponsorship, we get a short little video as well. So he sent me the script last weekend, and yeah, so he's going to do a little video, and we'll also be featuring in the actual film as well. So
Oh, that's great. So there's going to be a little cameo from yourself as well. Is
yes,
that?
yeah, you have
Oh, that's
absolutely.
brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. Also, you guys sponsor a carter as well.
Yeah,
Is
so
that
that we sponsor a carter. He goes around doing the World Championships. He goes all around the country, and we just sponsor his uniform.
the company logo and stuff is out there? You know, you're out there doing all these things.
Yeah, so with the sponsorship, it's our way of giving back because we don't work for big companies. We like to work for homeowners. So it's our way of giving back to the community because the community are basically our customers. They're helping us to grow, so we give back in that way. So
Yeah, one of the recent things you've done was very, very lovely of you to do.
what we've done over the last few years is we've tried to raise money. So at home, I make bowls. On a lathe. So I just enjoy doing it. And then I ended up having loads and loads. I was like, what can I do with these? And I thought if I raise some money, sell the bowls, and then we can build up a pot of money. And then basically what we do is we use that money to provide free boilers for people who are really struggling. So yeah, that's what we've been doing sort of the last 2 years. And then about 2 months ago, we had a customer call up. He said he's really struggling. He was ex-RAF, I believe, and he had no heating, he had no water. He was living alone, and I visited him. I went and had a look because I could see this was a candidate for it. He's been supported by SAFA, which I believe is Soldiers, Sailors, and Air Force Assistance or
So,
Association.
association, yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's quite a mouthful, but yeah, yeah, yeah.
SAFA's a lot easier.
Just say Safa. Yeah,
Yeah.
you Saf. You know, oh, that's brilliant. You know,
Yeah.
and you obviously raised enough money to get it
Yes,
installed for him.
we had that pot of money there, so I used that to be able to provide him a new stop tap so he can have water, and then obviously a new boiler as well, so he's got hot water and heating as well. So
You know, it sounds like, you know, you're making use of all the social media platforms out there, you're networking, you're getting the company out there, which is great, you know, to get seen and stuff like that. And off the back of one of the social media posts we put out, we asked people to contact us with questions for Jason. And one of them was from a lady in Lincoln called Fiona. And she says, my question for Jason is about electric boilers. I was watching a program a few weeks ago that mentioned them and that they were very economical. I wondered if Jason knows if they are more cost effective than gas boilers and are they expensive to install?
yeah, so that question's a little bit misleading. So electric boilers are quite varied. So you've got heat pumps, and then you've got electric radiators and electric boilers. Electric boilers, they work at 100% efficiency. So if you were to say gas is 10 pence, for instance, per kilowatt, and electric is 30 pence per kilowatt, you're going to be paying 30 pence per hour per kilowatt. So
Wow.
yeah, so it's not as cheap as running a gas boiler at 30 pence per hour at 10 pence per hour per kilowatt.
Wow. So what would Jason's top tips be for the plumbing and heating? What can people do to improve their bring their electric and their gas bills down, or you know, what would Jason's top tips be?
Yeah, so the biggest thing you can do is obviously insulate. Keeping the heat inside your house is the main thing. If you have the money, you could get a heat pump, because that can save money, but it's not a massive amount. Or solar panels. Another good thing to do is have solar panels, because you're getting the electricity for free. Depending on your size of your roof, you could get up to 80% of your electric free, and then you could be using that for heating or whatever else. Yeah. So
One of the things we like to do on the Links Lives Natters podcast is the 22 question challenge. And some of the people who have done it before have actually texted me today, and they're quite worried about Jason doing this in case he beats them. So I will put 3 minutes on the clock, Jason, and we will start now. Describe yourself in 3 words.
caring, kind, and reliable.
Okay, what makes you laugh?
Comedy. I really like to watch comedy shows.
What's your favourite thing about Lincolnshire?
The people. So just everyone's so friendly, kind, caring.
If you wrote a book about your life or career so far, what would you title it and why?
To be continued.
What advice would you give yourself at age 15?
Just keep doing what you're doing, really. Just I was doing what I was doing well. So
If you were an ice cream flavour, what would you be?
Neapolitan, multi-flavoured.
Oh, that's different. What's the funniest thing that's happened to you recently?
One of our engineers fell through the ceiling.
Tell me something about you we haven't mentioned today.
I'm 37.
Favourite place to eat in Lincolnshire?
The beef eater.
Last time you went to the theatre or cinema, what did you watch?
It was a Marvel film. I think it was Ant-Man.
If you had the power of King Midas, what would you choose to turn everything you touch into?
It's gonna have to be gold.
Everybody says gold. If you're a band, which member would you be?
I'd probably be the singer. Then you're
A
at front up.
singer.
Yeah.
So you get all the attention.
Yeah.
Would you rather be in, this one will probably make you laugh, would you rather be in Right Said Fred or ZZ Top?
Right, so Fred.
Really? That's interesting. Do you have a favourite plate or bowl?
Only the ones I make at home. So yeah.
What was the best advice you were given and ignored? There's 20 seconds on the clock.
The plumbers are never rich. They're always just well off.
Just well off. Okay, I'll let you have that one. What's your favourite Lincolnshire food?
The eggs. I really like the eggs.
The eggs. And that is 3 minutes up on the 22 question challenge. I will just top up the score when I turn that off. Jason Andrews, you've got 21 out of 22.
Yay.
Yay. So, Serena, if you're listening, he didn't quite catch you up. Oh, Jason, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. Is there anything you wanted to add to the podcast?
Just that our gas safety tips. If you follow hashtag Jazz Safety Tips, so that's JAS Safety Tips, and you can see us on pretty much every social media platform. So.
Yeah, we can put all the links to the company and we can put the links to the hashtag on our social media channels as well. Jason Andrews, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
think we will probably talk to you again when there's another event on, or we can talk to you about another charity when you're doing another install and we can talk about that a bit more. But thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
J&S Plumbing. J&S Plumbing is your local, friendly, reliable plumbing and heating engineer covering Lincoln and surrounding areas. Our experienced and fully qualified heating engineers are on hand to carry out boiler installation, repairs and servicing. Just call 01522 708 208. That's 01522 708 208 or email sales@jasplumbingandheating.co.uk. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode. My thanks go to Jason Andrews from JAS Plumbing and Heating for joining us and nattering. Also, thanks to my technical team for doing all the technical bits. If you enjoy our show, please subscribe to our podcast available on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple, and Google Podcast. And sure, if you enjoyed it, come back next week for more interesting interviews from the heart of Lincolnshire. Until then, this is Shelley signing off for now. We'll see you soon.